What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Rana out of Houston, Texas. Welcome to the Real Estate Anarchy podcast. Today, I have a very special guest. He is one of my students of the Wholesaling Re101.com program. Guys, I bring you Gary Gaine. This guy right here is tearing it up. Oh my God, I cannot tell you, or I can't believe how much success this guy is having, especially in the real estate business right now. When a lot of people are saying there's no deals during COVID-19, when a lot of people are saying that there's wholesaling is dead, this guy is going out there and he's proving it to everybody that it is alive and you can make a shit ton of money. All right. So without further ado, guys, I want to introduce the man of the hour, Mr. Gary Gaine. But before that, I'm going to give you a little background of this guy right here. So Gary, hold tight. All right. Gary Gaine comes from the car sales world. He was working over 100 hours at the dealership. He had a boss. He had to clock in, that whole 9 yards, right? One day he decided to take action. The next day, next thing you know, he's closing one deal that landed him an $18,000 assignment fee. It blows my mind. So guys, without further ado, stand by. I'm going to bring Gary up in a little bit. Welcome to the Real Estate Anarchy podcast. All right. Without further ado, guys, Gary, welcome to the Real Estate Anarchy podcast, brother. What's going on, man? How are you feeling today?
Thank you, brother. I'm feeling great. Thanks for the great introduction, man. I'm excited, brother. It's a great day today. It's raining outside. 2021 is right by the corner. I'm blessed, brother. Blessed to be here. Blessed to be talking to you on the show. Thanks for having me on here, man. Appreciate it. Absolutely.
Thank you so much for being on here. Listen, you are inspiring a lot of people who are looking to get into this industry. Some of the people who have hit a plateau and some of the people who think that this is not real. Gary, let me ask you first and foremost, is wholesaling real?
Bro, I don't know. I think I have my check statement right here somewhere around in my office here.
Oh, don't worry, we've got the HUDs to prove it. Don't worry,
yeah.
You're good. Okay, so let me ask you this: are there any deals during COVID-19? Because people were saying, there are no deals during COVID-19. What do you say about that,
bro? That is totally incorrect. Let me explain to you why I totally capitalized on that. Firstly, when somebody says to you, hey, there's no deals during COVID-19, what's in my mind, I'm like, okay, I've got my competition that is believing in just saying like, hey, there's no deals. Okay, now I know that there's less competition out there, right? So I capitalized on the situation immediately. And I knew it that there's more people in more problems, and the quantity of distressed sellers have to increase. So I totally capitalized on that situation. I'm like, there's absolutely no way people, whatever they're saying, put your blinders on, go out there. And sure enough, I've got so many sellers that are reaching out to me on a constant basis. It's unreal right now.
Awesome. Good stuff. Well, let's start off talking about your journey, Gary. What has brought you here? Let's go back in time and let's talk about where you were about a month ago. Where were you? What led you to this journey? Where did your journey start? Where's your family from? Where did you come from, Gary?
Man, I grew up in India, finished my high school over there. And I think I was maybe 17 or 18. That's about 15 years from now. I'm 33. So, got my opportunity to come down to the States. And, I ended up in Houston since I had some family over here. My grandparents had my older brother that was over here, and so I landed in here speaking just average English that you come from India, and no friends, nobody I knew over here. Had no clue how the society runs, how to talk to people, what business makes money. Absolutely no idea. And I guess there's other people that could relate to me. When you're fresh off a boat, you land over here in the States. You're trying to find you're trying to find money, and you want to make the ends meet, right? Just getting foot through the door. And so I had to do those ugly jobs, bro. I sold belts and fixed watches, and did sold shoes, and all the dirty work that I did. And but that made me very strong. I didn't give up. I actually started enjoying that journey because I knew, like, this is going to lead me somewhere big and huge, and it made me more determined. Um, had a little setback, during that process. My dad passed away, and but I'm thankful for all the things that he had shown me in life, because he made me into a strong person. So I had a good willpower to stay determined, and I continued. So I ended up finding out that, hey, there's you can make money in car business. I didn't have a college degree, and I really didn't want one, actually. So it wasn't like I was even like pressured to like get a degree. Not the case here. I just felt like I was more smarter on to be on the street out there hustling, talking to people, making money like that. So I got introduced by someone in the car business, and found my first job. I started selling cars. And I know, Ron, you come from the car business too, brother. So
I
uh,
do. I know that
yeah,
lifestyle, brother. So
yeah.
working from sun up to sun down, every day
Yeah.
we get our grind on. And I
So
get it, and I understood your hustle.
yeah.
So tell us about
So
the car dealership world. What were you doing in the car dealership? Did you start off at the sales floor? Where did you go from there? You were a sales manager. Were you comfortable with your position? What were you doing?
yeah, brother. The I started off being a salesperson. I had absolutely no idea.
Where did you start off being a salesperson? What dealership?
So my first job was, believe it or not, at a Mercedes-Benz store, and
Okay.
I got introduced to work over there through someone, and I started working, and I failed miserably. Like, when I say to you, here's this 19-year-old kid, at a store that's selling cars over $100,000 to pristine clients. I mean, I could not. I looked great, dressed sharp. I was aggressive. I was the youngest guy in the whole store. Uh, Period. Like, the youngest kid in the whole store, and which was a great feeling, honestly. Um, but I had no clue how to talk to those clients. I had no clue how to work a deal. I had barely any training that was making it work for me from them, which was odd. But anyway, I struggled. I ended up getting fired from there within 8 months. So, and I understand. I mean, it was, you're working, in the car sales in the States, you're 100% commission. You create your own paycheck. They don't give you a salary, so it looks very glamorous on the outside, but people don't realize the struggle, because you're working from literally 9 a.m. to 9, 10, 11 o'clock in the night, and people don't know that in other parts of the world, that how that industry works here in the States, right? Everybody thinks that, oh, it's easy, they're making money. It's not that easy. It's very tough. Yes, there's money to be made, but it's very shrewd at the same time. There's a lot of politics and stuff like that. Anyway, so that was my beginning in the car world. I was young, struggling, didn't know what to do, and but I never gave up. I just knew what happened for me. Actually, I kind of find it as a little blessing. Is I worked at a higher end store, and even though I failed during the first 8 months, I kind of found a way to talk to people. So I went across the street. There was a Toyota dealership, and this is a store that's advertising they're number one in the United States, which is true. They're number one, and they're selling 800-900 cars a month. And the place that I was coming from selling 150 cars a month. So you got to see the amount of people that I would end up talking to. So I thought to myself, I said, wait a minute, let me go across the street, see if I got fired, but if they will give me an opportunity to work.
Typical car sales guy. I got fired down the road. Are you guys hiring?
Now, I got to tell you this, like, I had a Ford Escort with no body paint, burnt body. The people that know me and watching this right now, they know what I'm talking about. This is a stick shift 2-door Ford Escort that I picked up for $500, and that's the car I'm driving right now. I mean, it was pretty. It looked crazy driving into a dealership, and they're like, "What the? What's going on?" Right? But I was very determined. I didn't care. That was what I was looking forward to. Where they would look into it, and they're like, "All right, we got somebody that wants to work here and make money, right?" So I went to Toyota. I didn't go home. I went to the Toyota dealership, and I walked in there, and I asked to speak with the GM, and I said, "Hey, this is what's going on," and they let me go, but I'm very determined. I hope you can give me an opportunity, and they did. So sure enough, I what I thought worked for me, because I immediately went from speaking to one customer to like 15 people in a day, and it opened me up into the car business, right? And it started making me understand how the process works, what to say to who, and it helped me become a little bit more smooth in my sales process. Uh, Life was more tough at the store because I was working till like 11, 12 o'clock in the night. It was really tough. And you know I got that phone call one night where my father passed away, and I was working at the dealership doing a deal, and it was like 11 p.m. So I left, went back home for a little bit, try to figure out things, keep my mind straight. It was pretty hard on me and my family as well. I came back, and instead of going back to work at the dealership at Toyota, I don't know what was going on in my mind, but I decided not to go back over there. But I was feeling a little bit more mature as far as how much knowledge I had in the business, right? So I went to work for an Acura dealership, and I got a lot of success at that store. I I was not only the salesperson of the month, but I actually hit records on records. Sold the most number of cars anybody sold at that store. I was aired on the Deborah Duncan show. Happy to be
Oh
on
wow!
her
So you
show.
you were already used to the limelight. So you got to be featured on a TV show, huh?
I did a live walkthrough because I won a walk around competition. I don't know, a lot of people would know that, but that's when you show a car to a customer and you walk around and you show the product. Really, that's what it is for everybody else to know.
Yeah, it's called a demo. That's what
It's
it's called.
called a demo, right?
It's a
And
demo.
they wanted me to do that, and I beat everybody across the United States actually.
Wow.
And that helped me get a lot of uh, positivity in my life, motivation, everything. However, the car business is a very tough work, and it's not for everybody. And you're working bell to bell. you got no days off, you have no time for family. If you're dating somebody or you're married to somebody, good luck. So
It's your personal life goodbye.
yeah, yeah, there's no love for you. There's no holidays, there's no Christmas, there's no nothing. It's you got to be there. There's a lot of greed, there's a lot of jealousy, there's a lot of politics. You got to it definitely helped me.
Sounds like real estate. That sounds like
It's yeah,
wholesaling.
yeah,
A lot of greed, a lot of politics, a lot of backstabbing.
backstabbing, bro, every day. I
I'm just
mean,
kidding. Okay.
the atmosphere sucked. I mean, I had days, like, don't get me wrong, I had days I'm like, what am I doing? Like, this is not going to be the end of my life like this. Like, yeah, there's a little bit money that I'm making here. I can support myself. I can pay my bills. I can have a nice car. I can do this. I can do that. But this is not what I want to do for the rest of my life, for sure. Like, I knew that. Actually, I knew that day one when I worked for when I worked for Benz. I knew it. I was like, oh shit. Even though this is that, this is this, but that's not going to be my life, right? Now, it's really tough when you don't have X number of dollars in your bank account and you don't know where you are, and sales, yeah, you had one good month, but here's the first of the next month, you start from zero, you got no salary. Now you got to you got to start all over again, the cycle. um I kind of went from being a salesperson to getting my first promotion in finance, and I was a finance manager for a couple of years, and then I
So
got
I
promoted.
want to backtrack you a little bit on there, right? You called it a promotion, but was it really a promotion going into finance?
Actually, no. This is funny because all the people that I know,
Promotion.
yeah, all the people that know me know my story locally in Houston, and going to finance is like a demotion, believe it or not. Like, you're selling cars, you're have a little bit more freedom to do the things you want, and when you go to finance, you're stuck in a cabin and you are pitching like 24/7, and it's a lot of pressure, a lot of hard work in order to keep it happening. And I hated it. I hated it. I hated it. I hated it, bro.
I can
So,
tell. So finance is
oh my
basically the
god.
upsell. Is that what
Oh
it
my
is the
god.
upsell, right? You're
Yeah.
selling the VIN etching, the BS
Yeah.
VIN etching that they try to sell you, and then
Oh
you're
my
selling
god.
a clear coat product that's going to protect your car for the rest of your life. Like, no, that doesn't happen. It actually has like a 1 year warranty on it, and then you
Correct.
got to call somebody in China or India. It's like, hey man, listen, I don't want to talk to my cousins in India. I'm not calling a 1-800 number. Like,
Yeah, bro.
so,
This is like it was I mean, I wasn't made for that. I was more of like a people's person type of guy that wants to talk to somebody out there, and not stuck in a cabin. And I just kept going, man. I had determination, I had the willpower to keep going, and my eyes at that point was to be a sales manager instead of being a finance manager. So I finally got my first uh, opportunity to be, they call it to be on the desk, right? I mean, I was at the desk, and things started looking good from that point onwards, as far as money wise, stability wise. But short term, here you go, and then something happened at the store. Your bosses are very cruel. They don't care about you. They your check comes and they take money out of your check for unknown reasons, and one would think like, what the hell? Like, I would tell my family, I'm like, look, this happened, and they were like, how can this be possible? I'm like, I don't know how to explain to you, but somebody that works in my industry will understand that, right? And
yeah, they call it a charge back.
yeah, charge back for
You're thinking you're making 8 grand, and then your check is 3 grand. You're like, what happened to the rest of the money?
correct,
Well, we
like,
have to do an oil change. We got to replace the
yeah,
brake pad.
yeah,
Like, dude, that's your
yeah.
responsibility
And
as the dealership.
you're working like 100 120 hours I mean, I remember one of the worst nights that I've had was probably being at the dealership till like 4 or 5 a.m. and just like sleeping in the car and continuing at 9 a.m. because hey, it's the end of the month, it's closeout, and you got no other. I mean, you got to work. There's no excuses, right?
Wait, so
And
you were at the dealership until about 4 a.m. and you had to
yeah,
be back at work at 9
nine.
a.m. and
Yeah,
you just slept in your car
you just
in
left.
the lot of the
Yeah, I
dealership?
mean, I lived an hour away from there, so there's no point of me driving, going home, taking a shower, coming back. So I just like, just let me just get rest in my car. I'm already dressed. I'm just gonna clean up and
Wow.
So that was a lot of struggle, man. I mean, it's a very, very, very tough industry to be in, and there's you know, at the end of the day, like I said, like you mentioned right now, man, you're expecting a certain pay, you get something else, it demotivates you, it kills you, because you look back and you're like, holy shit, like, my wife, girlfriend, or whoever it is, is at the house, my son, waiting
Well,
for
she's
me.
expecting a diamond ring, so
Yeah,
I
because you
can't
go
even buy
back.
nothing from the vending
Yeah,
machine now.
yeah, you go back home and you're like, hey babe, I made this much and I made that much. And you're really, what you're doing is, you don't know how much you're gonna make, because like their ability to hit you with some kind of a chargeback. Like, you don't trust anybody. So that puts a sour taste. And that happened to me over and over again, over and over again, over and over again. I've had a couple breaking points where I'm stressed. I don't know what to do. I took a break. I can't figure it out. I went back, in the dealership. But, I kept, I went from a salesperson to a finance manager to a sales manager to a director to a general sales manager to working about a month ago as a director for a local dealership here, getting a lot of success there, but still not fulfilling in my heart. And that's where it's all changes for you, right? And and I always knew, which we'll talk about that, how I found out about real estate, and what was going on behind the scenes. But I always knew, like, if I pull this real estate game together, this is going to be the end. And, sure enough, I walked in and walked into my boss's ex-boss, I might say that, ex-boss office, and I quit, walked out like a boss.
I walked out I quit and I walked
I
out like
walked
a
out like a
boss.
boss, right?
There you go. There you go. Was
So
your chest out? Were you feeling good?
it was the biggest, best day of my life. Um, I think a little bit about this because, we spoke that day, but there were, I haven't had so many people congratulate me that day. And to me, that was really crazy. I come back home and my girlfriend is like celebrating and like my friends are calling me, and my family's calling me, and everybody's like, congratulations, congratulations. I'm like, okay, I know at this point the stars
I'm
have
onto
aligned.
something.
Yeah,
I'm onto something here, right?
yeah,
So,
yeah,
in a normal job or in a normal life, like I'm going to tell you from now on, like your life will never be the same ever again. In a normal life, when you quit your job, you come home, your wife has almost got her bags packed. She's ready to divorce you. And then she's like, well, I ain't got no future with you. I'm taking the kids, right? Especially in an industry like this, whenever you get success, people are like, congratulations, right? It's crazy
right,
that people would even say something like that. And I remember the very first phone call that you made to me, and the first thing that I told you was congratulations.
right,
Man, wow, what a wonderful feeling, because
yeah,
I have walked that path. I know how it felt to work for the man. I knew how it felt to not be able to attend my son's birthday parties, not be able to go to my anniversaries, not be able to spend quality time with my families, either it's my niece or nephew or my brother or my siblings or even my mother that that I was hoping to retire one day from the car business. And you have very similar goals to what I had, right? And that's the beautiful part. Now, let me ask you, Gary, there's so much noise out there, right? There's so many gurus and there's so many different programs. You've got the Bitcoin daddies and you've got the Amazon FBOs or FBAs, whatever they're called, right? And then you've got a million people in the wholesaling space, right? So let me ask you this. Why real estate? Why did you choose real estate?
Uh, man, there's a little story behind it. And this was my own personal, thing. I used to get a lot of customers at the dealership, and these guys are walking into a store at 10 a.m., 1 p.m., whatever the time is. They got their Hawaiian shirt on, they're chilling, and I'm looking at them and I'm like, bro, what do you do that, and he's like, well, I own this building, or I have that many houses, or I do this in real estate, or that, like investors, right? And I'm like, bro, that's the business to be in, because people are working for these guys, and these guys are eating ice cream, during the day, and chilling and having lunch, and we're working for these guys, and I just had that feeling in me, even as a child. My mom always tells me that, I would always tell my mom, hey, you know all the people that are in real estate, like my dad works so hard, and now he's got to pay rent for the shop that he owns, right? And the guy that owns the shop is getting majority of our profit, that we made. Like, that's the real winner, because my dad worked for that many hours, and we took him that much money, versus the guy that just owns that property took away majority of our profit. It was crazy. To me, that was the real success. To me, that was like, what, like, I see that and I'm like, that's the place that I want to be in. I'll have somebody else work on for me and give me their earnings. I'll become rich, right? So real estate always was a back of my head. Now, I found out about you, you know, through sources that, hey, here's a guy that comes from the car business, and has a similar situation like me, and he's bragging about it openly, that this is what happened to his life, and
I like that word, bragging.
yeah, this is what happened. This is what happened. I think I actually saw this a couple of years ago. I actually saw one of your pictures on Facebook or somewhere. You shaking hands and saying bye to the dealership, like like that, like from going from working here to building an empire here, right? And
I
that
don't
was
remember it ending like that. I remember like I kind of blew up the place and I was like, F you guys. And
that's why I think
I don't remember shaking
that was
anyone's
probably
hand.
it
I
was
was
probably not
out.
aired. It was probably not aired at that point. But I didn't remember seeing something. But man, I saw that and I knew that there was an opportunity. And a lot of people get sidetracked very easily, not me. That's I think would be one of the differences. I kept my determination. A lot of people get jealous about looking at somebody's success, not me. I said to myself, okay, my time's up in the car business. This is what I like to do. I need to go deep in this and find out how this man is doing it, right? One of the very big things for me was, when you were doing some of those things, you were showing people the things that you did. Like, hey, I flipped this house or I flipped that house. There's nothing to be, nothing's hidden, and the benefit for me was I'm in Houston, you were in Houston, and when you said I flipped this house and I look at that property, I know where that property is, or at least an idea. I'm like, oh shit, like that guy just flipped that house over there and made what? Like
Yeah.
50K on that deal? Oh,
Yeah.
that's like somebody paid $150,000 to go to school at U of H or wherever they are, and then they get a job, and then they feel like, oh, we've accomplished everything in my life, and we've got this corporate job, and we made 50K a year, and this guy did what now? You know, so I'm
Yeah,
like,
you made 50K a year. We made 50K on one deal.
one deal, right? And I knew over there, I was like, okay, this is it. This is where the money is going to be made. And for most of the people that are listening to me right now, or us, it wasn't like, I contacted Ron and Ron laid the platter here and said, oh, here you go. It was never like that. There's a big background to that, you know. So, but that's really what got me into real estate, man. I saw, you what you were doing, and I started following you, and I
How did you
started.
start following me? Where did you where did you first
So,
meet me? How did you start following me?
yeah, bro. So like, I think you don't remember. You may not remember it, but because I was nobody at that point. So, But anyway, we I saw that, hey, you are doing like 20, 25 deals a month, and I first started following you on Facebook, and I'm like, this guy is doing what, like 25 deals a month? That means, like, I couldn't understand. Like, I'm like, wait a minute, like, is he closing on a property, or like, what is he, like, what does 25 deals mean here? Like, right?
What does it look like?
What is
What
it
does
like?
that look
And
like?
then he's saying he's making 50K on one deal. Like, what kind of money is he talking about here, right? And I'm watching all of that take place, right? And so you had this event, right? And it is like 3 years ago or something like that. You had this event, Coffee and Contracts.
Yeah,
By the way,
yeah.
I'm there all the time now. So
You're there all the time now. You
yeah.
came from your dealership to come to
Right.
Coffee and Contracts,
So, so,
which is
so
my networking event. Mhm.
right. And I'm working that day at the dealership, and the event starts at 5 p.m. And I tell one of my coworkers about you, that I've been talking about you for a while, right? And I'm like, bro, listen, just figure out a way for me to get out of here at 5 p.m. Like, I know, like, I have to work till 9, but just let's just create something for me to, and I want you to join me, and let's go to this event. He's like, what is, I said, I'm going to show you something that's taking place, and it's going to blow your mind. Like, I want to go to this event, and I'm going to show you what type of real estate game are we talking about here. We figured out a way to get out of the dealership. And I got in trouble for that, by the way, but I was so determined to, like, be there. It is freezing outside that night. Like around, it's like 6 p.m., but it's like dark outside, and it's
It's dark and
foggy.
it was 30 degrees outside.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, it was
it
freezing.
was freezing. Yeah.
And we couldn't find a place to park the damn car, bro. There were 300, 400 people outside. So we
Yes.
had to we had to park our car far away. We walked, and my friend's right behind me, and he's like, I mean, what? I've never seen you like this. Like, what's going on? I was like, bro, I'm telling you, like, look at the amount of cars that are there. Like, I'm just showing you, like, what's going on. He's like, who's this guy? I said, I'm gonna show you. I've been following him for years. Like, like, this is, for me, it was my first event too. So I was like, we're gonna find something out here, a way to make money or something, right? So we go there, and there's like 300-400 people packed on the outside. The inside space is like, I mean, I couldn't find you. I'm like, it's going to be impossible for me to talk to you, or say hello to you or something. There's realtors. I'm telling my buddy, I'm like, bro, wait a minute. There's private lenders here. There's title off companies right here. There's other real estate investors here. There's realtors right here. And and you guys are doing deals out in the freezing cold, and somebody just made 15,000 right on the spot.
Yeah.
And
Other
title
wholesalers were
office
bringing
guys,
the deals
yeah, and
and
I'm
selling
looking
it.
at that and I'm like, whoa.
And you see the title company.
Yeah.
What was the title company doing?
The title companies out there, getting business from all these guys right here, doing
Opening
nothing,
escrow.
pending. You're the one
Yeah,
pending.
opening escrow. Uh-huh.
Yeah, man. And I'm like, they're opening escrow on the spot at outside an event? No way. Like, I'm used to looking at somebody closing a deal in the title office, like nice, and then there are people closing deals out here, like 30 degrees outside. What the hell? Somebody like, where's my buyers at? There's like 20 buyers standing out there. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it, man. And I'm that kind of a person that has that kind of a drive, right? I immediately knew right there. I was like, holy shit, like this is like people are making money right now. This is more than my salary for 2 months that this guy just walked out. This is crazy. This is bigger than Wall Street right now. Like I was like going crazy thinking about it. It blew my mind. And I think I found a way, like at the very end of the event, to say hi to you or something, you had absolutely. I mean, everybody was saying hello to you. You're like, okay, like, and I'm like, hey man, and I knew. So I started basically putting a plan together at that point. That day, I said, this is what I'm going to be doing and I need to figure out a way to do this. And I started researching online. What is wholesaling real estate, right? How do we do this? So confusing and I'm working, 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day. It's tough, and I'm researching. I'm losing my mind. I can't figure out what's going on. And it was there's a lot of information that pops up, but like it's really difficult to connect all the pieces together. Okay, what do we do? Like, what number did we buy this property for? Where does it go? Who's going to pay the money? It's like your brain is like, oh my god, I don't know. You just want to like back off, but then you're like, wait a minute, here comes another post tomorrow morning. We close a property in this here by Ron, and he's made how much money? I'm like, man, I can't make that money in 3 months. He made that money. So
Yeah.
that was man very motivating for me. And sure enough, man, I ended up in a situation where I signed up with another you know a group that was pretty solid, and they had I found them through Google and Facebook, and seemed like they were going to introduce me to this and make things make things work for me. So I had my share of those experiences, by the way. Like I tried the other person, but I don't know what happened. This very renowned group had this program where instead of me finding the people that are selling the house, I was finding other wholesalers. So so
Okay.
okay. And like, oh, they promised me everything, that, oh, you don't have to do this, you don't have to do that. You find this guy and, uh, and even though I was brand new and I have absolutely no knowledge about the game, it didn't sound right to me. And I just knew at that point, I was like, shit, this is wrong. Like, like ain't gonna happen. Matter of fact, there was somebody else that I met on one of your networking events that we connected at that point, was also part of this program. Didn't last long either. So it was pretty demotivating for me at that point. Now, instead of going after chasing, so I did my share of chasing the gurus. And
So you've done other programs out there, right? Let's put that
yeah,
in. that's out there that you have tried other programs, and you've invested way more money than you did with myself and my company, right?
Bro, I literally,
How much did you spend on education before you came to me?
I think close to like $7,500, like,
That's actually
between.
not. That's actually not. I thought you were gonna say 75,000. So you learned pretty quick. You were like, you learned pretty quick. $7,500 is still $7,500. I mean,
Yeah,
I
like,
would.
you gotta imagine, like, I don't have 7,500 to like put on a program, that it sounds normal to people. Oh, $7,500. Brother, when it comes down to swiping that card for $7,000 and comes out of your account, hell no. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's a totally
you
different
got
thing.
people worried about a $600 stimulus check, and you're talking about
Yeah,
7,500,
yeah.
$7,500.
$7,500. And don't forget, like, you're working like 12 hours a day at a dealership getting your ass chewed out, and like, and you're gonna give away that money. It's pretty, like, it's tough, man. And
That's tough. Getting raped at the delership, and then you getting raped for
yeah,
7,500 for
yeah,
a grooming program.
yeah. And you don't have a real person that you're talking to. There's like five, series of, like, things that you watch, and like you copy paste, and like I mean, bro, like, that's not right. Anyway,
Anyways, moving on. So let's talk about, as far as you being in wholesaling and you getting this monster deal. $18,000 is a lot of money, right? And of course, you've been in the program for just a couple of weeks. You've already closed a few deals along with the $18,000 deal. So let me ask you, what type of marketing are you doing? How are you getting these sellers on the phone, and how are you able to negotiate with these sellers to make an $18,000 assignment fee?
well, bro, what I do is, I figured out a way to connect with you. So I reached out to you, and I signed up with your, mentorship one-on-one program. I learned the ways to negotiate. You and me sat down and basically worked on how to talk to these sellers, where to find the marketing. So, talking about this $18,000 deal, man, like you're asking, what did I do? You and me, we jumped on a training session on finding a list, how to find that list using,
A
other
game
software,
plan,
a game
basically.
plan,
You had a
you
game
know,
plan. Mhm.
and we pulled that list, and we figured out, this would be the most motivated list that we believe right now. And we basically, a lot of people will wait and send direct mail and this and that. I subscribe to call virtues, and um, and the first day when I hired the VA, first day, I think it was the very first hour. Okay, now I'm not saying it can happen with everybody, but it did happen in this case.
It's crazy how the stars aligned for you.
Yeah, yeah,
The very
yeah,
first day, the
yeah,
very first hour,
yeah.
you got this lead.
I got this lead the very first day, the very first hour. I got this lead, and
From where?
I
Cold
swear to
calling? Did you cold call them, or did you
no, the VA's
cold call
called.
the lead?
Yeah, the VA's called the lead.
Okay.
And leads were coming in every 25 minutes or so. And I'm actually at this point looking at this lead, and I don't know what to do. And there here comes another one, and I'm at the dealership, and here comes another one, and I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, right? So it was, you look at a lead, but like, you got not only the lead, you got the information about the seller, that they're ready to do business, they're accepting a cash offer, whatever. And I called them, but I was scared, so I called you. I was like, hey, let's role play a little bit, and I used your calling script, and you gave me an idea of what to say. Now I called this seller I'm still at the dealership, and I get back home around that particular day. I get back home around 7:38. So I spoke with you one more time. I'm so nervous at this point, man. Just normal human, bro. But I called the
Yeah, it's
seller.
your very first phone call,
Yeah,
your very first deal.
right.
I mean, everything that could go wrong probably would have gone wrong.
Everything. Right.
You got butterflies in your stomach. I remember that phone call. So you call me, and then what happens after that call?
You gave me an idea what to say to those people, the sellers, and I call them up, and she answers the phone, and she goes like, now this is the 18K deal, by the way. So she answers the phone, and it's about 8 o'clock, and she's like, hey, I'm old, and I've been sleeping all day, but I can't talk right now. Call me about 11 p.m. And I'm like, look, I'll be up. I'll call you at 11 p.m. No problem. And, based on the training that you and me did, I knew exactly what to do when I called her back, right? So I introduced myself, what I do, how we operate, and how we're going to provide her a solution for her property. And, she had asked me a ridiculous amount of, the offer was pretty high, what she had asked me. And, I basically went just the way we talked and role played, and I connected with her on a personal level. Instead of talking more about the deal, it was more personal about her life, her situation, what happened to her during COVID, how's her family doing, what had led to her in her to sell this house, finding the motivation. Now, this house also had several other issues going around. They had a tenant that's living in that house for the last 13 years, which is mentally challenged on top of that, right? And and they're like, well, we don't know, like we want to sell the house if we agree to the price, but we don't know what we're going to do about the tenant either. And I said, no problem, we'll customize this for you, and we'll close it for you in a special way to make this work. So we agreed to the price. It was a tough negotiation. You showed me how to negotiate with her. uh, you know um, I closed the deal, and then then the next battle was the tenant. So the tenant was not only a problem, for us, but was a problem for the seller as well, because she
She
would
was a
like,
distressed landlord, right? She was tired
yeah,
of her
like I said,
tenant.
totally big. So I drive over there, uh, you know, I drive over there, and I go knock on the door. She's not opening the door. Now she's inside because the seller gave me her phone number and told me that, when you get there, call her, right? So I call her, I can hear the phone ring, but the damn lady wouldn't open the door, right?
Oh wow! So you got another issue then.
Yeah, I had big issues. So now this property is about an hour 20 minutes away from me. So I drove an hour 20 minutes, look at the house, surveyed the house on the outside, took pictures, but when it came time for me to go inside the property, got no access. So we called the seller up, explained them the situation, had to go back. They came over there, they figured out a way to enter the property, set another appointment for me. I called you. I said, "Hey, I need your help. Let's go look at this property." So you and me got together. We went over there. We still didn't get access to the damn property. So we went over there. We relooked at the house on the outside. We kept knocking on the door. We ring the bell. Nobody's answering the phone. Nobody answers the door. So finally, at the last minute, she walks out and she asks us, "Hey, I don't know anything about the house getting sold and stuff like that. You all need to get out of here." So we were pissed off. So we go back. This is, another an hour 20-minute drive, right? So now I'm thinking, what do we do to get this person, communicate with us? But we called the seller back. We told them, hey, your time's running out on this deal. You need to get the tenant out there, or have us go inside the property on a fixed point or something, right? So we were finally able to get in the house again. And at this time, I don't know if I mentioned, but the tenant was not mentally stable, so we were running into issues every minute inside the property too. And I had to give her $20 to just get her a pack of smokes to keep her entertained. I was like, hey, you go smoke these cigarettes outside while I look at your house. And she's like following me everywhere. And it was pretty tough as far as that goes. But we did that. Your team, I connected with your team, and we got those professional pictures done. They contacted the seller, so everything was streamlined pretty easily. We closed on the deal. Your team member, handled everything for me as far as the closing goes. So I appreciate that, brother. And we hit a home run on that deal, man. I mean, we sold the deal like that. That there were buyers. So we had an open house on the property. I forgot to tell you that. We had an open house, and we had people coming from every angle looking at that house, making crazy offers. So we had them bid against each other. Like who's gonna
Well,
pay us?
normally we don't like to have
Yeah.
buyers bid, but if someone's going to pay us, X amount above our asking price, then that's something definitely to reconsider. But long story short, we priced it really well. The house, we told the buyer, we were very transparent with the buyer. Here's what it is. At the end of the day, the buyer bought a good property for a great price, right? And it's how you present the deal on the platter that really sells your deal, right? So when you went to the open house, you're talking to buyers. I mean, what kind of questions are they asking you, except
They're
for
asking
like,
you.
how much? What are they asking you?
Every buyer is different. They have different requirements, different needs. They're spending so much money on the house. They're looking for the best deal as well. So they were asking me about. Some were asking me about the sellers. Some were asking me about the tenants. They're asking me questions about the repairs on the house, asking me how my how my calculations were. How did I come up with my numbers? And there were and some don't talk to you. Some come in, some say hello to you, and they bring their contractor. They look at the house. So there's all kind of buyers. But luckily in my situation, I didn't have to go through a big battle with them, since I had your support on that deal. So
Awesome.
thank you,
Well,
thank you.
congratulations on that. That's such a phenomenal thing that you've done for not only yourself, your family, but your future, for your kids' future. And you took a step in the right direction,
Thank you,
and
brother.
it paid off.
Thank
So let me ask you this. Now that you're in wholesaling and you're in real estate investing, right? What does the future of your real estate career hold for you? Where do you want to take this?
At the pace that I'm going right now, I'm doing multiple deals currently, and I see myself, sooner than expected. Actually, I see myself having a scale in the business with a couple employees, having a big office, and having an acquisitions team, a disposition team, acquisitions team, the marketing team that's already doing very good. That I use call virtuals, and you know adding more VAs, definitely, to scale it. So that's where I see, but I see a easy 6 to 7 figure business taking place right now, because just for myself, um, I have so many deals in the pipeline. Matter of fact, as we speak, I have a closing that I'm going to right after this.
So you're headed to a closing right after this podcast.
Today, I'm
Another
gonna
deal.
another deal that I'm gonna get paid right after this podcast. So
Five
I'm
grand. How much is that assignment fee?
it's $5,000, but bro, like $5,000 for maybe, like, I worked for an hour, man. I don't know.
Oh, shit. So you made $5,000
Five thousand
for
bucks,
1 hour?
1 hour,
Oh my
maybe 1 hour.
God.
Let's just be real.
Dude, you're savage. That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
So today it's a good New Year's
That's
Eve,
not
bro.
fair. That's not fair. People are getting $600 stimulus checks and you're getting $5,000 from working an hour. Come on,
Shit.
man.
I'm thinking about my friends that are working at the dealership right now grinding.
That's crazy. I hope they're watching this because there's a lot of people who are commenting. In fact, there's someone was asking they need tips on how to fire their boss. So I need tips on how to fire your boss. So Gary, what tips do you have for this person?
Oh, bro. I mean, I can start. I don't know where to start from. Damn. I would say, bro, reach out. This is what I did. Okay. I reached out to this man right here. I say, you reach out to this man right here. Because I told him the same thing. I said, listen, man, the game, I said, here's the game plan. I'm going to quit in this much amount of time. He goes like, do you believe in that? I said, I absolutely believe in that. He's like, all right, then make it happen. I did make it happen, right? So I went and made that happen for me, and I lined everything up, but I took action. Now, if you need tips on firing your boss, you need to take action. Don't just, sit there and think, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Go do it. Go do it, because that's what's going to make you from a boy to a man. That's really, because you now, hey, don't forget, I have, tons of bills, and I took that, people call it gamble or a risk or whatever. I didn't think it was a gamble or a risk. I knew what I was doing, but I had faith in me, your team, everything that I'm doing, that I'm going to make it happen. And that's what I took action. I speak with so many people on a daily basis. They reach out to me. My phone's blowing up right now. Every second you can see, like, there's random people texting me,
Oh,
calling me.
money.
Right here, like I'm even lying. Like every second, they're like, somebody or the other is asking me, what's your secret, or what? There's no secret. Look, guys, I I work hard, no doubt about it, but I don't contemplate on I'm going to do this. Oh, I'm going to wait for one more week. I'm going to wait for one more month. Let me talk to my brother. Let me talk to my sister. Let me consult my friend. It's you that has to take the action. Your bills, your family, your wallet, your money. Are you going to do that? And the difference, for me was, I was chasing you for 2.5 years. When I found,
Whoa,
yeah,
for
I
two
was
and a half
chasing you
years.
for 2.5 years. My family knows. My family knows. I've told them, hey, this guy, this guy, this guy. My friends know this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. Every minute, every hour, this guy, this guy, this guy. Hey, why? Because I tasted the other mentorship program, or I'm on YouTube University or stuff like that. But I'm here in Houston, Texas, and I have this guy that I'm watching flip 20, 22 deals a month. That's a very big number, 25, 30 deals to do, you know, on an average basis, and you're meeting sellers, and they're like, yeah, it's already sold, we sold it to that team, I mean, that it's
In fact,
motivating.
you when you were trying this out on your own, you ran
Yeah,
into a seller who sold
yeah,
me a house,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. Right. So yeah, that's another story.
So you're like, hey, if I can't beat them, I might as well join them. Let
Yeah.
me go see what
So
Ron is
yeah,
teaching.
so I ended up at this property where somehow I ended up at this property that you had also ended up at, and then they did business with you. And I asked them, I said, hey, who did you, do business with? And they're like, hey, this guy Ron. I said, oh. And
All they had to say was Ron. There's no Ron like Ron Johnson, Ron Wayne, Ron,
no, I knew
whatever.
it. No, I knew it, because when they said, I knew it. So they had no idea what I knew, right? I knew that, right? So they tell me Ron, and I said, okay. Do you happen to have his card or something? They showed me the contract right there. It's the whole deal. I
There's
said,
the
okay,
contract, Investopia Online.
yeah.
Okay, now you're like, yeah, that's the
So
guy
I'm
right there.
like, okay, I know. Like I came back, I sat in my car mad, but I knew one thing. I said, okay, I don't care about, I'm pretty sure there's somebody out there that's got a good program or whatever it is, right? but I know that I'm watching something happen right now in front of me visually. That this is it. Like I'm working at a dealership. I'm walking into the store, making a paycheck. There was that moment for me where I was like, okay, I'm gonna figure out a way to chase Ron, and I'm gonna bug him and find out for 2.5 years. Now I know that you never had a program or whatever, but I followed you. I sent you messages and had no responses for a while. I mean, because you didn't know, like there's hundreds of people messaging you, and luckily, one day when you, I've had the ability to get your one-on-one mentorship, which was a blessing for me. Here I am, bro, not at the dealership, running my own VMG Home Buyers. Uh,
Wow. There
you
we
know,
go.
running my own company, freedom, picking up a check on New Year's Eve right after a podcast, and closed multiple deals, got multiple deals in the pipeline. You know, just hammering it, man, making it happen. All thanks to you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
No, absolutely. Listen, you can thank me all you want, but I'm the type of leader who's very selfless. And, yes, I can take credit for the success, but at the end of the day, it's all my students' success. This is your hard work, brother. This is
Right.
your moment to shine. And
I, thank you, brother.
you are going to be such a, you're going to be a force to be reckoned with in this industry coming out of the gates, because I remember when I closed my first deal, it was only a $5,000 deal, and that solidified me. That told me that this business works, right? But if I would have closed an $18,000 deal, oh my God, like that would have been even better, right? But
Changed my life,
then
bro.
again, then again, I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have a mentor like myself. I was burnt by the gurus. I was burnt by people taking my money. I was burnt by people making false promises, right? And I had spent over, at that point, when I started out, I had spent over, 60 plus $1,000 in my education. I had been burnt. Now I spent well over 300 grand, but that's paid off, right? My company, we did over 7 figures last year alone. This year has been such a freaking phenomenal year, watching our success and then having my students' success when we launched the Wholesaling Re101.com program. And then I've got students like you coming in, absolutely crushing it, right? And that shows me that, yes, this business is possible to duplicate, right?
Right.
The biggest thing about this business is duplication is key, right? You just keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Albert Einstein, right? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. I'm insane when it comes to wholesaling. I'll cold call until I get a deal. My different result is the paychecks, is the $40,000 checks, $30,000 checks, right? $10,000 checks, right? Sometimes we get the small paychecks like the 10 grand. We call it small paydays, right?
That's right, bro.
End of the day, you've definitely done very well for yourself. You've done phenomenal for yourself. I'm really proud of you, man. You've taken the bull by the horns, and you do not make excuses. You do not say, let me think about it. As the first day when my team called you, you're like, I'm ready. Here, boom. You were throwing your cards
Yeah.
at us. You're like, here you go, here you go, here
That's
you go.
exactly right. Hey, one more thing I forgot to add, though, bro, is that when you asked me the question about marketing for all those people out there watching right now, Ron was is right now still the king of bandit signs, and that's something that I absolutely do. Matter of fact, yesterday it's still raining outside. It was raining so hard, but I was still putting out signs in the rain, getting wet, because that is a feeling. I'm putting out signs 1 a.m. in the night, and you have no clue that who is going to call you from those signs, and and it's going to be a $30,000, $40,000 deal. And I learned it from him, and it was uncomfortable at first, but the cheapest way to get a deal would be that. I have to say, along with cold calling, if you have the right team, because there's like I get like, people everywhere. I got this, I got that. It didn't work for me. It works for me perfectly. Matter of fact, all my deals are coming from bandit signs and cold calling. So
What? So you're telling me that bandit signs work?
oh, bro,
I've
think
been
about it right
I've
now.
been preaching that for like
Think about it
years.
right now. Think about it for a minute. You've got half of the COVID struck. Half of the people are working from their house. They've never experienced anything like this, right? They're not going to work. They're finding a way to jump in their car, go out, do something, right? Because they've been stuck at the house all day, right? What is the first thing that I would do? I would want to get in front of those people, right? And you and me discussed, hey, where should we target? And bam, I went on it all in right away. Every day, still every day. There's bandit signs in my car, no matter where I go. Boom, one there, one here, one there, one here. I'm gonna train my son to put bandit signs with me, and I'm gonna get him, get him
Wow.
in real estate fast, So it's a feeling, and you're going everywhere. And the funny thing is, happen to drive by there, you see you're everywhere, you know, and
Makes you feel good,
makes
right?
you feel great, makes you feel great. And I one tip for somebody that wants to start on their own or do something, you can definitely reach, me, will be happy to. Ron is a giver. He gave back to the community. That's how I became successful. I'm the same way. The more we want to help people, the more we go ahead in life, right? I if I could do it, from quitting car business and jumping in this and making more money than I ever thought that I would be able to do that, and changing life, then anybody else can do it also. I promise you that. And there's no shame in this. We're out here doing this openly live in the city. So it's possible to make that kind of money, and we're doing it. I mean, I'm doing it right now. I'm the biggest proof right here. So I don't know what else to add to that, but it's a great feeling. I'm looking forward for crazy, crazy, crazy 2021.
Absolutely. And that's great that you said something to that 2021 effect where this is not the end. A lot of people think like, hey, this is just the beginning, blah, blah, blah. No, we need to put that out there that
Yeah.
absolutely anyone that comes into this business who's willing to work hard, who's willing to, grind, who's willing to do the business and learn from people who are doing the business every day, right? Learn from
Absolutely.
someone who's actually doing the business. That was the biggest thing too, because especially when you came to me, you already knew that we were doing the business. We were
Yeah.
already closing deals. You
Correct.
already knew that, right? And a lot of something that you shared with me too was like, hey, a lot of these people that I was looking for mentorships towards, they were no longer in the business. Do
I
you
don't
think?
know. Yeah, I didn't know really that if they were actually selling the program or they're actually doing the deal. That was something that I always questioned myself. I said, are they really doing deals themselves, or they're just selling the program? Because that could be done, like I could sell the plan for them, right? And nobody will ever know. But that's not, I wanted to see someone that actually was doing deals, not one or two, but 2025 happens to be like this, right? So that to me was, I knew right away, okay, when somebody is in my own shoes, wholesaling out there on the street, talking to sellers, calling them, boom, 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 negotiating, this is the person that I want to connect with, and that's going to introduce me to this lifestyle.
Absolutely, 100%. We've got a few comments that came in that we're going to address. So Lesky on YouTube, we've got a YouTube followers right now. She's giving her hearts, emojis. Thank you, emojis.
Thank
Awesome.
you, thank you, Leslie.
And
Yeah,
then
let's
and then
go.
we've got the Mohammed Sheikh say he needed tips for firing his boss. We'll make sure you gave him those tips. Marlon said Happy New Year and God bless you, gentlemen. Good stuff. Happy New Year to
New Year
you,
to you as well, brother.
Marlon.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, absolutely. Lesky gave us a heart, a party emoji, and a thumbs up. I love that. And then she also added it. You got to work with people you don't. gotta work with people you don't know well for support. Absolutely. Sometimes your own family members won't support you. And I've ran into that issue a lot of times, Lesky, and so has Gary, now that he's, done a couple of deals. And, family is not going to support you until you prove them wrong. And then guess what they're going to say? Hey, I always knew you were going to make it. Yeah. It's always your biggest critic. It's always your biggest critic that says, I always knew that you were going to make it. Right? This business is not hard at all. Okay. A lot of people make this business sound very complicated and very hard. You don't need any credit to start this business. You don't need any money to start this business. Gary, did you use your credit?
I did not use my credit. I did not. You need first thing you need
a down payment. Did you put a big down payment to buy this house?
Nope.
No. Matter of fact, how much did you put down to buy this? How much did you buy this house for?
Oh, how much did I buy the house for?
How much earnest money did you give?
$10.
$10. So if you guys have $10, you can invest in real estate. Who has $10 out there? If you have $10 out there, write in the comment section, I have $10, right? If you have $10, you can buy a bunch of houses. Now that everyone's getting their stimulus check, let's do 600 divided by 10. You can buy 60 houses a month if you want. You got $10, 10 times 600 divided by 10 is 60 houses, guys. Can you buy a house for $10? Yes, you can. And it is very, very possible, right? Now, Gary started with little to no experience at all, okay? He came from it into this industry. He started the program with little to no experience. And that's the beautiful part. You don't need experience in this program, and if it's safe to say, do you have a college degree, Gary?
Yeah, absolutely not. I said, I don't have a degree, neither did I want.
You don't. Well, you're going to have an MBA. You're going to have an MBA soon enough, and that stands for major bank account.
Absolutely.
We're going to make sure you're on track to get an MBA. Yeah. And I'm telling you, it's a great feeling when you do have an MBA. And I like to tell people all the time. Absolutely, guys. So, and long story short is this business works if you work, right? You hire someone. I'm not saying to hire myself or my team to help you scale your business, either if you want to do 2 deals a month, 8 deals a month, or 18 deals a month, right? No matter where you are, we can craft and we can help you scale your entire real estate business. Because Gary came in with zero knowledge, right? He came in with, honestly, he didn't even know if it was going to work or not. He was following me, right? He had a very strong feeling that it might work because he believed in himself. But remember, nothing is guaranteed in this life. Absolutely, right? Success is not guaranteed, okay? And you got to make sure you're out there and you got to hustle, right? There you go. A Christian said, all you need to know is how and the hustle. That is absolutely right. So we got our first bidder. All right. Christian says, I got $10.
Let's go.
Let's go. You're ready to invest, man. You got $10. We're gonna get you a deal.
The deal that I closed right now, I'm picking up a $5,000 check right after this podcast. That was another $10 on the earnest money.
How are you buying these houses for $10? How are you doing it? This is how.
It's easy, man. It's easy. There you go.
Awesome. Good stuff. Well, we're definitely excited for your success, Gary. Thank you so much for being on the show. Everyone else, thank you. I'm going to go through the rest of the comments. Let's see. Talal, he's saying, yeah, there you go. He's happy for you. I'm sure that's one of your buddies. Gaine, is this your mom?
That's my mom right now watching this live.
There we go. Your mother is watching you live. She's proud of you, man.
Thank you.
And that's the biggest thing that's gonna definitely help you out. So that's all the comments that we have for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We want to wish each and every one of you guys a happy new year. Okay, be safe out there. Gary, keep closing deals, brother. Keep crushing it, man. I'm extremely proud of you. Before I leave, guys, I do want to make the announcement that we are actually, I was supposed to make this announcement yesterday, but since we're on the podcast, I'll go ahead and take this opportunity to do so. We are opening seats for our Q1 of 2020 for mentorships. If you are interested in the one-on-one mentorship with wholesalingre101.com and being a personal student of mine and getting results just like Gary, okay? Well, there you go. There, I'm trying to point out, just like Gary, there you go. We want to make sure, guys, that we get you on board. Make 2021 your year, okay? Nothing changes. If nothing changes, take action. PM me right now, DM me, whatever you need to do. Get in touch with myself and my team. We'll be in touch and we will create a success plan for you guys. We're opening the floodgates. Who wants to be the next Gary Gaine? Let's go. Let's go. All right. Gary, thank you so much for being on the podcast, brother. Truly appreciate it. I wish you all the success in the world. Once again, thank you so much, Gary. We'll see you later.
Appreciate it, man. See you later. Thank you.
Peace out.